Today we are making a mushroom tofu burger. Welcome to Cook Vegan, I'm Farah, and it's my pleasure to show you how we make this burger. Now we have lots and lots of delicious burger recipes. They're all going to come up slowly on this channel. So if you do like what you're watching, don't forget to subscribe and definitely hit your notifications button so you don't miss out on any videos. Now, I'll be as quick as I can, not to take your time. So here we've got an array of ingredients as well as some others that I'm going to cook on the stove. It's a super easy burger recipe, and that is what Cook Vegan is all about. Real food for real people, quickly, whether you're vegan or not. So we have here about 3 tablespoons of sunflower seeds, 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, 2 tablespoons of flax seeds, although I'll always say if you want your omegas, bung in a few more. Whole grain flour. Now, if you are gluten-free or want to be gluten-free for this recipe, you don't have to use a whole grain flour. You could use a flour of your choice. Buckwheat flour I find is a bit dry, so I wouldn't recommend that one. But another one, oat flour might be really a good option. A gluten-free, obviously, oat flour. Or there's a million others that you might know better than me even. You could also use some almond flour, but it might not bind as well. Here we have 2 tablespoons of vegan mayo, so you can use whatever brand you want here, and 2 tablespoons of soya sauce. We've used organic light soya sauce here, but you could use tamari or a gluten-free soya sauce. And this is 1 pack of firm tofu. It's dry, firm tofu. We've just literally cut it up and then crumbled it a bit so that it's about yay big and roughly crumbled there. Now, I don't drain this. A lot of people do squeeze the liquid out of their tofu, but personally I like it to be a bit succulent, especially that we're having the mushrooms with it. I want that mix. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the seeds together, not the sunflower seeds because we want that crunchy, but I'm going to add these 2 seeds together, the chia and the flax. And I'm just going to add a little bit of water, not too much, not exactly the same quantity, half like we would do if we were making a flax or chia egg, but just enough to make it a little bit, a little bit spongy and to be a good binder when we mix everything together, and of course get more nutrients out of our delicious seeds. So now I'm moving over here. Forgive me, but I'm already a bit wet. It's beautiful weather, unbelievable. We are nearly in November in sunny Cyprus and Limassol where I live, and we have it's amazing. It's 30 degrees. So I've just taken the kids swimming outside. We're so lucky, and I can't complain because being in lockdown this year with this weather was amazing, although summer was boiling. So we're super casual. Now I'm just going to turn on the heat here. Okay, and I'm going to put that on to the highest so that I can do this quicker and show you how easy this is to make. So I'm going to throw some olive oil in our pan. Now I'm going to drizzle that in. So we want enough to cover the whole pan, not to be too thick or deep. We don't want to deep fry everything, but we do want enough to coat everything and properly allow it to cook without those beautiful flavors coming out from the olive oil. Now here, this is about 10 oyster mushrooms. So it worked out about, I'd say about 2.5 cups here. And you can see that's a normal size bowl, so a non-heaped bowl. So we've cut these up also into small pieces. You don't want them too big because otherwise you're not going to be able to make it into this beautiful pate. It's going to start breaking up. And I also have here some salt and pepper, some thyme, dried thyme, and 1 whole onion, white onion, and 2 cloves of garlic here. So this is now heating up. I'm going to throw that in. And I'm going to put everything in at the same time. So usually, at least in my recipes, I put the onion and the garlic in first and allow those to either just sweat a bit and get that beautiful golden or translucent colour. But now, because I want them all to cook together, I want all the flavours to be absorbed here. I want the olive oil to soak in, and I really want the mushrooms also to be properly this is a vegan channel, but meatified. So to get really delicious and tasty and have that chewy effect. So there we go. So I'm just stirring that in. Oh, it looks so yummy already. I love this. This is one of my favourite burgers, but I do love mushrooms and I do love tofu. I know I posted this before on my Facebook group, Cook Vegan, and a few people have said, oh, I don't like tofu or I don't like mushrooms, which is fair enough. So if you don't, then this isn't for you, but it might be for someone else you know. So here you go. You can see why we really didn't need a lot of olive oil, and we definitely didn't want it to appear deep fried, because immediately all this ingredient is sweating and a lot of delicious liquid is coming out, and just allowing that to be, oh, so good, to be all cooked in that. So it's all sizzling away nicely. And now is the time I'm going to add our delicious flavours. So here I'm going to put in one teaspoon here of dried thyme. So nice. And again, this is ground whole black pepper. So I'm just putting a few. This is again as much as you want to taste. We quite like pepper in our house, so I'm just adding that in there. And I'll put in Himalayan salt. Sometimes I use sea salt. Not too much because we've got the soya going in later. Half a teaspoon there. I'll throw that out. So I'm going to add that in. Good. Oh, it's so nice. And the flavours, you can really, well, flavours, the smell, the aromas, I should say, you can really, really enjoy those now as you're cooking. So I'm just going to leave that like that. Stir that in. And the other, before I turn down the heat, actually, I might just turn it down a little now. So now I'm going to put that on a medium heat at 5. And I'm going to add in half a vegetable stock cube here. So not too much, but just enough to give a little bit more flavour to this. I'll save that for later. Okay, and I'll just stir that in there. And then now that it's turned down to medium heat, I'm going to leave that for about 10 minutes, maybe even less if I'm in a rush. I'll just see how that is cooking. The oven is already on at 160. Don't forget to turn your oven on, because all of these delicious pâtés will eventually go into the oven. And now I'm going to show you, so I'll leave that for 10 minutes as I said, and I'm going to show you how to mix up the rest. So now that everything's on the pan there, sizzling, and all the smells are filling the kitchen, I'm going to mix all of this together in a bowl. So it's all really, really easy. So our tofu here, let's say 1 cup's worth. I think it's 200 grams, 1 packet, let's say. So those are broken up as I showed you earlier. Our delicious light organic soya mixed in. And here we go, and our, that's a really good binder. So normally, I'd say I was never a mayo, I was not a mayo girl, I was not a mayo fan. And actually after going vegan and getting vegan mayonnaise, yeah, I've not been converted. Maybe it was the eggy flavour that put me off, or maybe also just knowing it didn't really have anything that good in it for us. And it's so calorific, normal mayo. But yeah, I don't mind now a bit of vegan mayo. So yeah, do try it out, everyone. And so here we go. This is our whole grain flour. So I'm pouring that in. Again, there's no particular order to this. And our nice crunchy sunflower seeds. And now they've gone, so that's already gone quite, it's been absorbed quite well, all the water and that. And I'm going to mix this all up. So all of this, I would use my hands, but I'm using a 2 spoons. So I'm mixing that up just to get everything all coated together. Here we go. Now, some of it is already glooping, if that makes sense, if that's even a word. So it's already getting in clumps together. So the tofu is all, can you see, all being coated nicely in the flour and the seeds. But the chia seeds and the flax seeds, they need more of a bit more help. So actually, to be honest, I probably left them in the water and didn't add enough water for a bit too long. So that's okay though, I'll just spread that along. I don't have to worry too much. There we go. And it doesn't need any other seasoning because we've already put our herbs in with our mushroom and garlic and onion mix. So there we go. So you can see that. So it's quite dry, but everything has been mixed together now and coated. Just gonna spread out the our chia seeds. There you go. So you might want to not leave it for too long so that it can all be spread out more easily. Okay, and once that's done, I'm going to let that set now. Just leave that there. And I'm going to go and check on this mix here. So this has not yet been on for 10 minutes, only a few minutes. So I'm going to leave that for a bit more just to get a little bit more soggy, so to speak. It is already all cooked and nice, but I want it for maybe a couple more minutes just to really balance out the dry ingredients that we have there. And then I'm going to mix them all together. So actually I only left that on for another minute more because it's already ready. So you can see just how quick this recipe is. It's so good. So whoever says you can't make homemade vegan burgers for your family super quickly and easily, and this is also very healthy. So I'm just going to put that there. Okay, so all that yumminess. Now I'm just going to mix this together. I love the smell of this. And this is, if you can believe it, basically it. We're good. We're good to go. So I do have my baking tray here with my paper on top. Now it depends how much of a rush you are in general with all vegan burgers, because with most of them what you can do, it's ready now, you can always make the pate if you're not breading them, so we're not going to put any breadcrumbs on this. You can always pop them back in a frying pan with only a tiny bit of oil at the bottom and just seal them like that, and then it will be, just make sure they're that perfect burger pate. But in my case, because my kids are already on their mung bean starter soup, and if you want to learn how to make that, I've got an amazing and very easy recipe that's already on YouTube. So this is quite hot now, so it's a bit difficult to make into the pate. I'll have to just let that cool down, and then I'll show you how I'll quickly make that and pop those on the tray, and then they go in the oven. So here we go, it's cooled down just enough now for me to be able to put it in my hands. Actually, you don't have to wait that long. And this is the best way to do it. If you don't do it with your hands, you've got to get a bit messy sometimes in the kitchen. So I'm just making that, I make that into nice balls, and this whole batch makes 10 very nicely sized burger pates. So there you go, like that. I'll take the last one again and show you how I'm doing this. This one's actually a bit bigger than the others. Okay, so I take, as I said, this is a bit bigger, so about a handful, let's say 2 tablespoons of the mix. Oh my goodness, it's so yummy. Because it's all cooked, I just want to eat it. It's good the children aren't helping me because they'd start eating it before we even put it in. And there we go, I just make that into a ball, like so, and then I start pressing it down in between my palms, and it all stays together. Not too firm, otherwise it's all gonna break up again. And there we go, I'll put that there. It's the biggest one so far. So there you go, and you can press them down a bit. Now, as I said, the oven is on at 160. It's one of my favorite temperatures to cook at. And we're just gonna cook these for 20 minutes. And we'll keep an eye on them to make sure. And that's it, they'll be ready. I'll show you when they're done. So here we go, 20 minutes later at 160, we've got our beautiful mushroom tofu burgers ready. Now, as you can see, we've got our different sizes here. I didn't size them up so well, but that's good because if you've got your homemade buns that I will show you to do in another recipe coming up soon, then you might have differing sizes, so you can do it accordingly. I'm just going to cut one of these here, and you can see, oh my goodness, it's so good. It's so soft. It just breaks away, and it's delicious. It's really nice to put it in a bun with some lettuce, some sliced pickles, a little bit of ketchup, a little bit of mayo, vegan of course, and some cucumber. I love it. And if you eat tomatoes, then a bit of tomatoes. A little hot. It's so good, it's so soft. Or today, we are having it just plain like this. We're serving it with some of our noodles on the side that I made yesterday, and some salad, and we're just having it like that. So I hope you've enjoyed this recipe. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm looking forward to seeing you all more on Cook Vegan YouTube channel, and as well I've got my Facebook group if you're interested to join that for some exclusive info and interviews coming up with various different people. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you again soon, and bye from me and Cook Vegan.